So you had a very powerful opening. You could see from your natural state. Now you're just seeing what you've done with your person because the old patterns are coming up and those old tendencies to be caught up here, to have a personal response to here and a personal response to want what you had before has come in. And that's okay. You just need to meditate that. You need to hand that over. You need to, even when that's happening, you've got to be okay with it because now you're seeing what you've done with yourself. Now you're seeing the old pattern of you, and not just the old pattern of you in terms of thought, feeling, but there's also a pattern of ego, of ownership, of doership, of grasping, of um, thinking you've lost it. Who is this person that thinks they've lost it? Come back into what you really know. And only awareness can do that. And in doing that, you're actually handing over. But it doesn't mean that that experience falls away. But what it does mean is that you accept that and you're allowing the experience of that to return back to awareness, coming away from what you did with your person, which was possess it. In possessing your person, you had a thought about your person. And that thought is the I thought, is the ego. So that thought of your person has got to come back to what is truly experiencing yourself. That's all. It's a pattern. The ego is a pattern. And it's kind of sewn into all of your body mind patterning because it was that believed it experienced it for all those years. So you're still going to get these tendencies coming up. So in handing over, it just means you have to really accept them. But like awareness being the experience more than your personal concern. Your personal concern won't get it. Again, that's just self-obsession. It self-possesses you. It's a dynamic, ego dynamic. And it takes awakening. It takes, when you hand over and you really do come into awareness, when conscious contact starts to become apparent that there is this observation of here, you come to see only that can be the experience of here. But if there's a sense of being pulled out and having a personal concern, that thought itself is the ego. And be okay with it. Really be okay with that, because awareness can, in not separating from itself, can continue to see. And not just seeing, but continue to remain as the experience. And here is where spiritually you start to mature, you start to grow up. In the beginning, it's always wonderful. It's always, the beginning awakening is very liberating. And the initial dissipation of ego feels like all of the ego has gone, but it hasn't. Your identification with the body mind has gone, but the stain of the ego, the tendency, which we call tendency, is old pattern, still remains, and it has to be cleaned. But the only thing that can clean it, or clean the inside of the cup, is seeing. Hand over and see. Accept it, self-acceptance. Which is what the ego doesn't do. The ego is not into self-acceptance. It's into self-management, self-expectation, self-obsession, self-will run riot. It uses everything in your body mind, in your instinct, to get what it personally feels in its personal sense of experience. But you're okay as you are. If you come back to awareness, liking awareness more, not from a personal sense, because it's here that there's a true giving up something, or here there's a true sense of letting go of something, when awareness simply sees, and liking itself more as the experience than the pull to get caught up in a compulsive sense of doership.